Alrighty, so once you have created the virtual machine for Ubuntu, which is right here, you basically just want to hit play and let's get started with the installation. Now, the reason I said we should use VMware Workstation is because it makes the Ubuntu installation a hell of a lot easier, and you'll see that right now. So basically, let it just start up right here. Let me just maximize the screen, as you can see it's already opened it in the full screen, so let's keep it that way. And as I was saying, VMware basically will do all the hard work for installing it in terms of installing it for you. So just let it start up and the installation process should be a breeze. Alright, so it looks like we have actually got onto the startup. Basically I think it's just gonna start the configuration. As you can see right here, it's loaded up Ubuntu and it's going to start the installation. It's going to start verifying installation configuration. Don't worry about this if you're a beginner. You just let it do what it needs to do. It's going to start creating a file system in the virtual hard drive that we created, the 20 gigabyte hard drive. Again, you could have used an additional amount of space. So basically it started the installation process. As you can see, it's saying copying files, and you can basically browse through this little feature window here that Ubuntu gives us. It basically includes the rhythm box, music player. So in all essence, Ubuntu is, I think, a very good complete operating system. It can do really anything you can do on Windows. The only thing that Linux lacks at the end of the day is software support. Other than that, I think it's better than Windows, hands down. I use Linux for my main work in terms of programming and development, but yeah, it's overall Ubuntu I think is going to serve you well if you choose to use this for browsing the deep web, and you can really configure everything or tailor everything to your specification according to how you like it. So let this install and I'll get back to you when it's done. Alrighty, so once the installation is completed, I basically, once it was installing, it'll basically just all go through the installation process without it needing any interaction from you, and it's basically gonna restart. And if you're running this on your main computer, the installation process will be very similar, and again it'll reboot into Ubuntu. And if you created you created a username with a password, you can enter it, otherwise it'll just log you straight in. I had a password, so I've entered it, and it's logging me in right now. So I'm just going to be taking you over the basic interface of Ubuntu and how to basically download and install Tor and make sure that it's working. So just let it log me in. This is the first time I'm logging in on the system. So just let it load up and we should be good to go. Alright, here we are. We're on the Ubuntu desktop. If it's going to give you some of these this weird resolution if you're running it on a virtual machine, just go into the system settings icon right here. Just open it up. Shouldn't take that long to open up, and you want to go into hardware and displays. Again, we have to just change the resolution to something we find appropriate. I find that to be the most appropriate for me. I'm just going to hit apply, and there we are. So it's applied the resolution that I feel comfortable. And now basically this is very similar to how Windows works. You have your toolbar or taskbar up here, and this is your app launcher or your launcher as it's called in Ubuntu. This is basically like your start button, and you can search for apps, and it's going to show you your applications that are currently installed, and you can basically search. For example, if I search for Firefox, it's gonna show up as Firefox. Excuse me, the resolution has changed again. Let me just open that up and let me just configure that right now. I'm just going to go into displays. Let me just configure it back to what I had set it as and apply. And let's close that. Keep this configuration. Sorry, I had to keep the configuration. Alright, so as I said, this is your start menu, and you can search for applications that are installed. Now, for us to install the Tor browser, all you have to do is open Firefox. It will come pre-installed. Make sure you're connected to the internet. I'm connected through the virtual machine. Just open Firefox and just search for Tor browser. You have other applications here, like you have the LibreOffice or LibreOffice. You have your file manager, so you can really just customize your files very easily. As I said, it's very similar to Windows and Mac OS in terms of user interface. You have your downloads folder. Let's just close that. So basically search for the Tor browser and hit the first one, the Tor browser, on the first link, and you want to hit download the Tor browser. It will all automatically detect that you're using Linux. Now you're going to go into the Linux section, and if you're running a 32-bit version of Ubuntu or any other Linux distro, make sure you hit this here. If you're running 64-bit, just hit that. I'm using 64-bit, so I'm just going to hit 64-bit right here, and it's going to basically save the file and let that download. Shouldn't take that long. So while it's downloading, let me actually just show you a few other things that might come in handy. So one of the tools that I'm going to be using in future videos to basically be configuring Ubuntu or any other Linux terminal for security, and basically making the entire system run through the Tor proxy or the Tor connection, is we're going to be using the terminal. The terminal, don't be afraid by the terminal. We're not going to be doing anything complex. We're just going to be editing a few configuration files here and there. So that's basically the terminal file, and that's about all the tools that you needed to do. If you want to customize your wallpaper, you can just right click and go to change background. Again, this is for beginners at Linux, and those of you who are not very confident using it. There's some very good wallpapers you can select from here. You have this forest one right here. Some very good wallpapers. Again, you can download your own wallpapers and change them according to what you want, but that's for another video. I'm just going to select the default one, and let's open Tor browser, and the download should be completed. Alright, so once that's done, just close the Tor browser, and you want to go into your files. Alright, now in the file section, you want to go into your downloads section, and you'll see Tor browser with a tar.xz extension. Don't worry about this, just right click and hit extract here. Alright, so let it extract. It's going to extract the archive, and it should just take a few seconds, as you're seeing right here. Alright, so once it's finished extracting the archived file, the Tor file, just hit close, and you can open the folder Tor browser English US, and you can just hit this little section here, Tor browser setup. Just double click that, and it should automatically configure and start Tor for you. So there we are. Very similar to the Windows section. It's going to ask you to use they're going to ask you which connection type you're using. If you're using a connection that is proxied, you can configure it through here and then connect. I'm using a direct connection, and I'm guessing you guys are too. So I'm going to hit connect, and it's going to start establishing a connection through the Tor network. So it's loading the relay information, and again does it really fast. So there we are. Should have started the Tor browser up, and we should be good to go. So let me just close that. So let's check again. check.torproject.org, and it's going to check if the browser is correctly configured, and voila. As you may have noticed, using Linux or Ubuntu is much faster, and I would recommend, if you're thinking about virtualization, I would recommend either Tails or Ubuntu. But the good thing with Ubuntu is that it's a full operating system, meaning you can use it for day-to-day activities such as browsing the web, the clear web. You can basically write Word documents, you can perform graphical tasks, and it's just a wonderful operating system. So that's it for this video, guys, and that's it for this section. In the next section of the course, we're going to be looking at how to basically configure Tor for maximum security, and I'm just going to show you how to utilize Tor when accessing the deep web. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you have any questions, let me know in the Q&A section of the course, and I'll see you there.